everyone, today in this video I'm excited to be checking out the Yeedi M12 Pro Plus. Yeedi did send me the sample and they're sponsoring today's video, but I want you to know that any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this product or you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. Here's a look at the retail box and packaging. Now let's go ahead, let's open it up and see what's inside. Here are all the contents. First up, we have our product literature consisting of an instruction guide and manual right here, walking us through important safety information, followed by product setup help and instructions. Look at the breakout diagrams there. Then you'll see sensor information before cleaning prep, quick start using the tanks, downloading the Yeedi app, connecting with the app. You get the idea here. Very detailed and thorough. There's some tech specs for you too. And then everything repeats in multiple languages. Next, we have our FCC statement and our 1-year warranty card. Then you'll find the side cleaning brush. I like the red color scheme we have going on here, followed by the power cord and cable for the Omni station. And last but definitely not least, we have the RoboVac and mop as well as the Omni station. Let's look at those in more detail. First up, the RoboVac here, front and center. We got the Yeedi logo and branding on the LiDAR navigation module, 3 control buttons up at the top, and we have a magnetic removable cover revealing our dustbin, QR code, and some additional product info. We can remove the dustbin for cleaning and maintenance as well as to empty ourselves. So first up, we can take the filter out and install, and then we can also open it up to clean out and empty the contents. Up at the top, we have our instructions here for cleaning and drying. Take a look at it from all different sides and angles, and here's a look inside with it removed. And then it just gently goes back in place. Let's look at the side of the vacuum next. So on the back side right here, some sensors, water port down here. We have our charging contacts. We'll rotate it around to the side. Navigational bumper, get a feel for the play of that and the wiggle. We have a sensor there on the side. Then we have True Detect Vision on the front. Another sensor on the side. We have our dust outlet clearly labeled for us for the self-empty, and we have some venting there. Let's look at the very bottom of the unit. So, up at the top, omnidirectional wheel, cliff sensors, spring-loaded drive wheels, main brush roller right here that's easy to remove. So if we ever have to clean and maintain that, we can. You'll also notice in here we have some detangling combs to help keep the tangles at bay. Then we can just snap that right back in place. I like the red on it. Then we have our 2 spinning and rotating mop pads and modules. And you'll notice this one can swing out to the side right there. Pretty cool. And this is where the side cleaning brush is going to be installed. Here's our side cleaning brush. We can just gently line it up and it's just going to snap right in place. And now we have that installed. Looking at the Omni station from the top, we have 2 grip handles to easily remove the dirty water tank, clearly labeled, and the clean water tank, also clearly labeled. Now you can see what the station looks like with the tanks removed. Each tank is equipped with a clip on the side to open up to get access inside. So here's a look at the dirty water tank internals. Got a little float right there for us, letting us know when it's full. And here's the clean water tank internals. Similar, yet a little bit different. And looking at the side of the clean water tank, we have our max level indicator letting us know when that's full. Looking at the front of the unit, you'll see the Yeedi logo and branding, status indicator up here, removable tray down at the base. And if you can see further in there, we have, again, charging contacts, self-empty, our washing, cleaning, refilling, and drying all done right there inside the Omni station. So you can actually remove the ramp at the bottom by pressing the red buttons in, and then everything just slides right out. And we actually have another tray we can remove as well, which is super convenient. So as this washes and cleans itself over time, you will get a little bit of buildup here of some larger debris. So it's great to be able to have that flexibility to remove these to wash and clean as needed. Now here's a side profile for you and a look at the other side. And now we're looking at the back side, some additional product info here. This is where our power cord and cable is going to plug in with the toggle on and off switch and built-in cable management, so we can tidy up the cord right there on the back. And then here's a look at the base from the bottom. So this section's the removable tray. This portion is built into the Omni station. So we have a couple of grip feet and a honeycomb structural design. And now this section that you're looking at is the removable tray that continues on with the honeycomb design. And it's larger than the frame, but you can see most of it side by side right here.
right, now that our first clean's out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the results. First up, we'll start with the dustbin on our RoboVac. Let's open it up. Now, I did intercept it before it went back home to self-empty, so keep that in mind. You won't have to manually empty the dustbin, but I wanted to show you exactly what it's vacuuming up in a real-world environment. It's me, my wife, my 2 daughters, and my dog. My wife, my kids, and my dog all have long hair. So, let's see what we get right here. It's packed to the brim, full of, you guessed it, hair. So let's try to open it up without spilling it everywhere. Take a look at that, jam-packed full in there. So gross. I'm gonna dump it out so you can really get a feel for what to expect here and see it out of the bin. Get all the crumbs out. We got really fine dirt and dust particles as well as larger hair. Take a look at that. That's only one pass in my house. Disgusting, disgusting, disgusting. So really fine dirt, dust, debris, crumbs. I see some grass clippings, some plants from outside, a lot of sticks, and then a ton of hair. Most of that's going to be my dog's hair, I can tell. but we have some longer human hair in there as well. Now let's look at the underside here. First up, the side cleaning brush is not showing any tangles, which is great. Keep an eye on it. Every once in a while, you might find some longer hairs wrapped around here. And now looking at the main brush roller, this looks fantastic. So they have their ZeroTangle technology, and it's doing a really good job right here. I can't believe how good that looks. Typically, you'll find a lot of hairs wrapped around the center of the brush, really choking it out. We do not have that right here at all. Pretty amazing. I was expecting some tangles, to be honest, because we've checked out and reviewed the Ecovacs T30S, which is eerily similar to this vacuum. That one has the same dual comb system here, anti-tangling technology, and we still got some longer human hairs wrapped around the brush. But now looking at this one, it's performing even better, so count me impressed. And then we can't forget about the mop pads here. They look brand new. You'd be hard pressed to know that we even mopped with these, but that just speaks volume to the washing, cleaning, and drying system that it has to maintain your mop pads and give you that nice clean floor as well as a nice clean RoboVac. And then making that all possible is this tray right here. I wanted to show you how easy this is to remove and clean as needed, and also for you to get a feel for what this is going to look like after a clean. So for us, take a look. Not bad at all. We do have some hair and a couple little pieces of grass and clippings and things like that that have collected on the plate here, but look at how easy maintenance is for this. You can take the whole thing out and wash and clean as needed. We could just take this piece out to wash and clean. It's designed to filter and catch and trap all of those things right there from the mop pads. And then down below we have on our drip tray here, you'll see we still have a little bit of water, but that will just evaporate. We could also dump it out as needed and wipe it down as we see fit. So not bad at all. This is really easy to maintain compared to other models that don't have this flexibility. It's disgusting how dirty the inside of these things can get, and if you don't have a way to easily clean them, it's a real pain. This is fantastic and exactly what you want in a design like this. Now let me walk you through the Yeedi app. So take a look at the main screen right here. Once we have our device set up under our account, we can choose to start a clean, send it back home, or enter into our device settings where we can view our map and set up our cleaning preferences. So in the top right hand corner, we have a map icon here where we can map our home, we can view our saved maps. Up to 3 maps can be saved, and we can edit those maps. So we can set up like no-go zones, virtual walls and barriers, things along those lines. That can all be done within the app. And in the right-hand corner up at the top, you'll see we have more device settings here where we can view our cleaning history. So take a look. Let's go back to our first clean here. There it is. Take a look at the row-by-row cleaning where it was able to navigate and clean. Really, really cool. So we see a path of everything right there. We basically got 500 square feet in 1 hour. And then we have a breakdown of all of our previous cleans, so you get the idea. So a nice cleaning log there. Take a look at that. Nice breakdown. That'll chart everything for you. You can set up a schedule. You can view maintenance on this. You can adjust the mop pad lifting settings, so you have some customization here. Pick and choose what you want. And then we have our intelligence settings. So this is going to be for our station in the mop washing and drying. So choose by time or by room and duration. Auto empty settings. We have our mopping options here too, the TruEdge Adaptive Edge Mopping. Really helpful animation to get a feel for that. 2 modes to choose from. So definitely spend some time there customizing it. And then we have our more settings. I wanted to show you this because there's a really cool feature for this RoboVac that I really like. So we have child lock, auto resume, our 3D sensitivity, but there's foot touch control. So you can toggle that on or off, and then when it's on standby or pause for cleaning, you can lightly touch the bumper to start or continue the clean. So really clever option there. I love that we have that feature. Haven't seen it on any other products besides Ecovac's T30S, its sister vacuum. So really a unique feature there that I think's pretty cool. And then further down, we have all of our typical device settings, find the robot, things like that. And then back here, we'll quickly look at these different tabs. So we have our auto clean, room clean, zone clean, and we have different cleaning scenarios. So you can pick and choose which one you want here. And then our cleaning modes. So vacuum only, do you want to do only mopping, vacuum and mop, or mop after vacuuming? Then we can adjust different things like water flow rate. We have 3 settings to choose from. How many cleaning passes do we want? And we can adjust the suction power right there too. And then we have different cleaning speeds. So standard, deep, or quick. Up to you, but you really can customize this as you see fit. So the moment you've all been waiting for, how does the M12 Pro Plus stack up against the competition? We'll be looking at it compared to the over 60 robot vacuum and mops that I've personally tested. So we'll start looking at max suction power first. This is measured in PAs. The higher this value, typically the better actual real world clean you will get. So in this case, this has 11,000 PAs. That is one of the highest we've ever seen. The T30S shares that 11,000 PA suction. And until this week, we just got our hands on the Dreamy X40 Ultra. That has the highest now we've ever seen at 12,000 PA. So this is pushing the uppermost amount of suction power you can get. So the competition's fierce out there, but this is gonna have one of the highest suction powers available today. It's substantial. It's 6,000 more PAs than the average. So we double it and then we add some still. Next, we have max CFM. This is measured in-house in our studio here. So you'll notice we have a 9.5 CFM, just like suction power. The higher, the better here. It doesn't go 1-to-1 with it though, as you're noticing, but 9.5 compared to the average of 6.9. That's pretty substantial still. That's 3 points greater than your average RoboVac. And then taking those two metrics, applying it to the real world with our carpet deep cleaning test here, we nearly got a perfect score at 95 out of 100. That's 10 points greater in carpet deep cleaning than the average RoboVac. And moving right along with all of that suction power, how loud is this vacuum? Well, surprisingly, it's not that much louder than your average RoboVac, just 5 decibels on carpet on its max suction settings. In the real world, having this vacuum in a room next to you versus an average RoboVac, you'll be hard pressed to notice any difference. Moving right along to battery life, this is measured in minutes. We have 180-minute runtime compared to the average RoboVac of 150 minutes, so a 30-minute increase for our M12 Pro Plus. Always a bonus. So the key reason why we have that greater runtime is due to the 5200 milliamp hour battery found in our M12 Pro Plus. That's going to be about 1400 milliamp hours greater than your average RoboVac, so you know they're using high quality parts and components and they're not skimping on the little things internally. Next, we have the height measured in inches. It comes in right around 4.1 inches. That's a little bit taller than the competition, but of all the vacuums we ever tested, that has a mix of ones with and without LiDAR navigation. So if it has LiDAR, it's going to be right around that 4-inch mark. If it doesn't, you'll find it a little bit shorter because it doesn't have to have that module up at the top. So as expected in regards to height. Also want to point out, typically these shorter vacuums that don't have it are going to be cheaper entry-level vacuums. When in doubt, you definitely want LiDAR to navigate and map your house. It's going to give you a much better overall cleaning experience. Next, we have our dustbin capacity measured in milliliters. We have a 300 milliliter dustbin. The average is actually greater at 415, but that average consists of vacuums that do and don't have self-empty. When you have a self-emptying vacuum like this, you find that your bin capacities are less because it doesn't matter since you're not manually emptying it, it's going back home to empty. When you don't have self-empty, if your bin's on the smaller side, that means you have to make that many more trips to your trash can. So it's kind of a moot point for a self-empty vacuum. It makes more of a difference if it doesn't support self-empty. Same can be said for water tank capacity. This has a 55 milliliter internal water tank. Not a big deal because it goes back home to refill, clean, wash as needed. So when we look at our average, it's going to be greater because a lot of those vacuum and mop combos do not have that capability. So they need to have a larger onboard water tank so you don't have to refill it as often. In this case, it's doing all of that work and heavy lifting for you. Now let's talk about mop lift height. This is in millimeters. This has a 9mm mop lift height. The average is going to be a little bit higher by 1mm at 10mm, but I do want to point out that the Roborock S8 Max V Ultra skews this data higher because it has a 20mm mop lift height. That's the greatest height we've ever seen, besides the Roombas that lift the mop up and out of the way, or the Dreamy vacuums that just detach the mop pads when it's going out to vacuum. So there's some cool tech out there, but you want to see that 9, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that range to make sure it's not going to make contact with your carpets, or if it does, it's very, very minimum. Next, let's look at mop washing. So this supports mop washing and it supports hot water mop washing, which is key. This has 158 Fahrenheit hot water mop washing and cleaning. So you can say goodbye to grime and grease. It's going to give you a nice hygienic clean. Typical average RoboVac and mop combos do not have mop washing, and if they do, they usually don't have hot water mop washing. Same can be said for mop drying. This has 113 Fahrenheit hot air mop drying. That's going to help make this more hygienic. You're not going to have a wet or damp pad just sitting there all the time. It's going to dry it off for you. Same thing, the average RoboVac and mop does not offer mop drying, and if for some reason it does, it's usually not going to be that hot or that warm of air. Another value add you'll see is TruEdge Mopping. That's a feature for this vacuum where basically you can get really close to edges and those hard to reach areas that usually don't get covered and clean, but in this case, it'll be able to clean around them and it won't collide into them. So it's got like a gentle mop that'll just go around, like think about a chair leg or anything like that on the floor. It'll be able to mop those areas that usually don't get mopped. And what's one more? This also has a ZeroTangle brush. So with the design, it has that dual comb teeth on the bottom, as well as the ZeroTangle brush that work together to help eliminate tangles. It's gonna work a lot better on shorter hair, like my hair, versus really long human hair, but it does make a difference from your typical brush roller on a RoboVac. So it's a much needed, I would say, improvement. The Narwhal Freo X Ultra still has the best anti-tangling brush roller design that we've seen personally, but this is a step in the right direction and it's really a welcome change and upgrade. And then last but definitely not least, let's talk about cost. What is the value of this? Well, from all the data that we just looked at, you probably noticed we were at or exceeded the averages in every category that you would want to be. And we went through a pretty large and exhaustive list of key features and value adds for this particular vacuum that you usually don't get. So you'll notice we're a couple $100 more in the average cost, but I would argue the value is there. For the couple $100 that you spend extra, you're getting some pretty substantial upgrades that just make your life easier. And at the end of the day, that's the whole reason why you're getting one of these in the first place. After using the Yeedi M12 Pro Plus, let me share with you my final thoughts. Here's what you need to know. This vacuum is now the new king of the best overall price to performance. So previously, the throne and crown was held by the Eufy X10 Pro Omni. I thought that was the best value out there for what it was, giving us flagship features, fantastic suction power, mop washing, cleaning, drying, all that good stuff at a fraction of the cost. Now, at the time of this video, this vacuum offers greater suction power, better features, and it costs even less. So we have a new winner and king to crown right here. But with all that being said, there are still things I want to see improved. The two biggest ones are going to be object recognition. I really want to see that built out more. So it does a good job with larger objects. Think things like shoes, you know, a water bottle, larger things like that. Tiny cords, pet waste, it's going to struggle with. Maybe, just maybe, they can update the firmware in the future, continue to build out the object recognition or the algorithms or the database, whatever it has, to refine that over time. Hopefully it doesn't require new sensors, but again, I'd like to see that improved in the future, but very common with vacuums today. And at this feature set, again, it's going to be very, very normal. So it's better than nothing, but you still should tidy and clean up your house. And the second thing is, I still want to see that brush roller with that dual comb system improved even more to really basically eliminate all tangles. I'm not talking about like a torture test with tons of hair, like vacuuming up a whole human head of hair. But again, just around the house, if you have a lot of long-haired pets or humans living with you, you still will have to maintain that brush every once in a while. We're making progress, but it's still, in my book, not finished yet. There's still some room to work with to improve that even more.